evening. This is Qtv Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ashma Uba. Thanks for joining us here at the main news headlines. President Adama Barrow, some cabinet ministers and senior government officials joined fellow Muslims yesterday, Sunday, at the King Fahd Mosque in the capital, Banjul, to celebrate Eid al-Adha. On the day of Eid al-Adha, government pilgrims joined millions of fellow Muslims to replicate the day of the symbolic stoning of the devil at the Jamrat in Minna. Yesterday, the 16th of June, was International Day of Family Remittances, set aside to recognize the contributions of migrants to improve the lives and livelihoods of their families back home. Rice is the Gambia's staple food, and it is cultivated in various parts of the country. Interviews with some small-scale rice farmers in Janjanbury highlighted the challenges they face to keep rice farming alive. The Gambia has become another of the African countries where a synthetic drug widely known as Kush is taking a serious toll on its youthful population. In an extended special report, we look at what is being done to halt its spread in the Gambia. These and other stories coming up, to stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. President Adama Barrow, together with some cabinet ministers, senior government officials and security heads, joined fellow Muslims yesterday, Sunday, at the King Fahd Mosque in the capital, Banjul, to celebrate Eid al-Adha, locally known as Tabaski. Alusise was in Banjul and he filed his report.
The Gambia joined the rest of the Muslim Ummah to observe the feast of Eid al-Adha, locally called Tabaski. Muslims celebrate this joyous and sacred occasion by spending the period with families, friends and loved ones. Imam Ratib Charno Alu Maska led a two-raka congregational prayer, which was followed by a sermon which centered on the importance of the day and the need to promote peace and stability. Speaking to the press after the Eid prayer, the Gambian leader, who also doubles as the current chairman of the OIC, advocates unity and love for one another as he wishes all Gambians a blessed Eid. He also preaches unity, without which there cannot be any meaningful socio-economic development.
But I will seize this opportunity to congratulate the entire Ummah and congratulate the Gambian people. We have to congratulate the Ummah for trusting the Gambia to host the OIC in the Gambia. It's the second largest organization in the world. So it's a big achievement for this country. So I have to thank the Ummah for that, for the trust and confidence. But my advice to the Gambian people remain the same. Let us maintain peace and stability. Let us maintain peace and stability. Let us reconcile as Gambians. The entire world, the countries that have developed, they are all very peaceful. They are all stable. So if Gambia is stable and Gambia is peaceful, we will develop this country. There is no doubt. And I call on Gambians to support me and support the Gambian, support the government, so that we can develop this country. We are very much committed to developing this country, and we cannot develop this country without infrastructure.
Speaking to QTV, many, including Deputy Speaker Sidi S.K. Njai and Defense Minister Sering Modou Njai, are grateful for witnessing another Eid. They prayed for the President, the government, and people of the Gambia.
We want to thank Allah and pray that Allah accept all supplications. We want to extend Eid Mubarak to each and every Gambian, and of course residents in the Gambia, and to His Excellency President Adama Barrow, and commend him for hundreds or thousands of rams that he has given to poor people, and to every individual who removed his or her dime and supported the needy. And we pray that Allah continue to grant us peace, happiness and prosperity, of course with good health, to enable the leadership of this country, religious leaders and every other individual to be able to continue to steer this country and to live a life of peace, happiness and prosperity. As we celebrate Eid, we remember our brothers and sisters, those who are in the hospitals, those who are in sick bed, those who are in Palestine.
It's a great day, a day that Muslims all over the world will converge to celebrate this very important day in our lives. It's a day of prayers and forgiveness, and ask God that He accept all our supplications. And we want to take this opportunity once again to wish everyone Eid Mubarak. Thank you.
Eid al-Adha is celebrated a day after the day of Arafah throughout the Muslim world through acts of kindness and charity to the less fortunate in society, in commemoration of Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail's willingness to sacrifice everything for the sake of Allah the Almighty. Those that are financially capable slaughter rams after the Eid prayer. This was manifested by President Barrow and his family at the State House in Banjul. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Still on Eid, on the day of Eid al-Adha, government pilgrims join millions of fellow Muslims to replicate the day of the symbolic stoning of the devil at the Jamrat in Minna. Babukar Cisse is with the 2-hour travel, and he filed this report.
Pilgrims left Arafah on Saturday evening and spent the night at Muzdalifah under the open sky. It is here that each pilgrim collected 49 stones in preparation for the stoning of the devil. The stoning ritual lasts for 3 days. The first pillar stone on Tobaski Day is the big Jamarat called Jamarat al-Akbar. The symbolic stoning is to replicate Prophet Ibrahim's actions when he pelted Shaitan with 7 stones after he tried to convince Prophet Ibrahim not to slaughter his son Ismail when he was instructed to do so by Allah. Pilgrims must throw 7 stones one after the other while saying Allahu Akbar after each throw. After the stoning, sacrificial rams are slaughtered in Mina on behalf of each pilgrim. A male pilgrim will then shave or cut his hair, and the woman should cut the length of a fingertip from her hair. While Gambians are enjoying the Tobaski festivities, pilgrims here will continue stoning the Jamarat on Monday and Tuesday, and then finally leave for Mecca to perform Tawaful Ifada, which is the Hajj Tawaf, to complete the 5 days of Hajj rituals. Babukar Cisse, QTV News, Minna, Saudi Arabia.
Now, yesterday, the 16th of June, was International Day of Family Remittances, set aside to recognize the contributions of migrants to improve the lives and livelihoods of their families back home. The day has great significance in the Gambia. As Jennifer Sonko reports, the theme for this year is digital remittances towards financial inclusion and cost reduction.
The day recognizes the contribution of over 200 million migrants, half of them women, who send remittances home to improve the lives of their 8 million family members back home. It is projected that by 2030, more than $5 trillion will have been sent home by migrants to low and middle income countries. The International Day of Family Remittances is used to call to action governments, private sector entities, as well as the civil society to find ways that can maximize the impact of remittances through individual and/or collective actions. Remittances contributes to poverty alleviation efforts and also increase school enrollment in different countries. Research has also found that these inflows of income can help recipient households become resilient, especially in the face of disasters, especially during the coronavirus pandemic. The theme for this year's commemoration is digital remittances towards financial inclusion and cost reduction. The theme highlights the positive effects of digitalization in reducing cost, improving access, and enhancing financial inclusion. In the Gambia, according to the World Bank, remittances flows were estimated at $627.5 million in 2023, accounting for 26.3% of the country's gross domestic product. This is more than the combined inflow of official development assistance and foreign direct investment to the Gambia. Moreover, these flows have shown resilience during times of crisis, more recently the COVID-19 pandemic. Although the Gambia has made significant advancements in financial inclusion and in offering formal channels for remittance transfers, such as the coming of the leading mobile money, Q-Money, there still exists a 70% of Gambian population who still lack access to formal financial products. Remittances inflow is very significant during Tobaski as migrants send money to relatives back home to purchase rams for sacrifice and buy Eid wares. These feasts and other traditional activities contributes to the retention of remittances received in bank accounts being very low because cash withdrawals are common. It is hoped that more innovative channels will be used to ensure more access to financial services. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basongo.
We will now go for a commercial break, but when we return, we have two special news stories, including an extended report on Kush in the Gambia. So do stay tuned.
Tobaski Fiesta! Celebrate this Tobaski with the biggest and the cheapest data and voice promo in the Gambia. Get social media bundles for all your favorite sites: Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Snapchat, Telegram, and X for as low as $15 for 100 megabytes or $60 for 1 gigabyte. You can't beat that! Or buy the Kacha bundle and get 1 gigabyte data with unlimited voice calls for just $100 and stay connected with family, friends, and loved ones. Dial *343# and choose option 1 to subscribe. So rush now and be part of the Tobaski Fiesta with QCell. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Senior Boss. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply. Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunyubus. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I'm Asma Uba. Now, rice is the Gambia's staple food, and it is cultivated in various parts of the country. Interviews with some small-scale rice farmers in Janjanbureh highlighted the challenges they face to keep rice farming alive. Loliam Kamara reports.
The Janjanbureh rice fields have a rich history dating back to the 19th century when they were first established by the British colonial government. They were used to grow rice, a staple crop in the Gambia, and were an important source of income for the local community. Today, the rice fields are still in use and continue to be a vital part of the Gambian economy, providing employment and food security for many. However, some of those involved in rice cultivation face various challenges. These include the effects of climate change, outdated and poor irrigation practices, aging infrastructure, and limited access to modern farming techniques and equipment. Many of the irrigation systems and equipment used by farmers are in need of repair, making it difficult to grow and harvest rice efficiently. Mohamed Bamba is a youth engaged in rice cultivation.
The rice variety we cultivate here now takes us 3 months to harvest. We have a number of problems in these fields, and the first is fuel to operate the machines. Our pumping machine is too weak. Our wish is to get 2 new machines that can serve both sides of the farms. Another constraint we have is the lack of tractors. We have only 1 tractor functioning there, and we used to get another from Sapo.
There are 3 rice fields in Janjanbureh, namely Nyantale, Faraba, and Ngapatoto. But only 2 of these fields are in operation. Buntung Ganes, also a rice farmer, says the empty spaces are supposed to be cultivated, but due to a lack of equipment, they cannot use the vast land. You see the fields extended up to the roadside. So if we have support from the government and individuals, we will use the whole space. Because farmers are ready to work on these farms, but all of these spaces are empty. If we have enough equipment to plow and proper water systems, we will use the whole farm. On this farm, we have both men and women ready to work, but the lack of support is hindering that for us. We have young people too who are volunteering on these farms. Janjambure, once a thriving agricultural region, the fields now struggle to produce enough rice to sustain the local population. With unprecedented weather patterns and rising temperatures, farmers are finding it increasingly difficult to grow their crops. Here is Binta Sow, another rice farmer. Things are really difficult for us. No fuel to use our machines. Fertilizer is expensive and we don't have machines. And even if we have, it's from our own packets. We have been here working this farm since Ramadan, but we need help. Many farmers are struggling to make ends meet and are worried about their livelihoods. However, from what we saw, despite the challenges they face, farmers in Janjambure remain committed and are determined to find solutions to ensure the survival of their rice fields. Among the suggestions we heard were that they would like the local government to work with the central government or international organizations to provide support and resources to the farmers, plus training on sustainable farming practices, access to new and improved equipment, and financial assistance to help them adapt to changing and challenging times. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara.
As the news is one of the most widely watched programs on QTV, we wanted to highlight the menace of Kush with a longer-than-usual report within the news bulletin. The Gambia has become another of the African countries where a synthetic drug, widely known as Kush, is taking a serious toll on its youthful population. In this special report, QTV Senabu Chow investigates the spread and devastating prevalence of Kush in the Gambia, as well as efforts to combat it.
Kush has been prevalent in West Africa for years. It is reported to be a psychoactive blend of addictive substances such as cannabis, tramadol and fentanyl, with human bones reportedly among the ingredients. The first reported case of the drug in Sierra Leone was in 2021. Since then, it has spiraled out of control, forcing the country's government to declare it a national emergency in April 2024. Tyson Conte, a Sierra Leonean freelance journalist and filmmaker, published an investigative documentary on Kush in Sierra Leone in 2022 for the BBC's Africa Eye program. The documentary asks whether the country can stop the march of this dangerously addictive drug.
Kush has a state it takes you. And in Sierra Leone, this state is classified, or they call it as a mad world. You meditate and, you feel so big of yourself. You feel everything is solved. And so we have this youth frustrated. They can't get jobs. They can't make money. The economy is very bad for us in Sierra Leone and for everybody around the world, So they found this Kush as a remedy to take them away from the stress of life.
It has become apparent that consumption of this drug has become widely spread among youth in the Gambia, with serious health implications and societal consequences. I spoke to a source who used to smoke Kush and who requested anonymity. He shared his troubling experience of taking the drug.
I want to know what it was like to smoke Kush. But when I smoke it, I felt like someone who's been electrified and everything about me changed constantly. The people I was sitting with were laughing at me and said I was going crazy. I was sitting beside an electric fan and I felt uncomfortable around it. I even had to put it off and went on to take a shower, but to no avail. I decided to lie down, and when I did, I felt like I needed to vomit. After vomiting, that was the time the effects reduced. Since then, I stopped it. That day was my first try, And that was when I quit smoking it.
The experience of taking Kush has been toxic and life-threatening to many who smoke it. This testimony from a victim of this drug gives a picture of clinical cases relating to Kush at the hospital.
Kush is not good and is killing many people. When you go to the hospital, many people are admitted due to Kush. Most of them will try to swallow their tongue. Some of the people who are at the hospital are there because of Kush. I have lost a friend because of Kush. He was given a challenge of $500 to try Kush, and when he did, he swallowed his tongue, leading to his death, and those that gave him the Kush were arrested.
The rise in incidences of consumption of Kush in the Gambia has become worrying for authorities. In addition to other drug-related cases in the country, Pasamba Boyang, the head of the Gambia Task Force on Drug and Substance Abuse, highlights the investigations and other mechanisms the Drug Law Enforcement Agency is using to prevent the spread of Kush.
Establishment of the task force, which comprises of all relevant stakeholders, from DILIC, police, army, immigrations, I can say all sister forces, and Ministry of Health, youth councils, Red Cross, is a milestone to when you look at our fight against this Kush. 2, there is also what we call monitoring level of this product, product in town, because the task force monitored all medical cases and interdiction cases. The Drug Law Enforcement Agency have already communicated with partners in Ghana. We are just waiting, preparing for logistics to move the product from the Gambia to Ghana to do advanced analysis to know the composition of these drugs. But we didn't limit ourselves there. The task force is about to conduct a survey to take urine analysis of those who have been affected with Kush to have a preliminary information about the substance itself also.
The porosity of Gambia's borders makes smuggling of drugs like Kush, as with the smuggling of other illegal substances, easy, leading to their circulation and widespread use among the population, mostly the youth. The latest situational report of the National Task Force on Drugs and Substance Abuse in June reveals 102 Kush-related cases. Of that number, 70 of the individuals are reported to be Gambians, while the rest are of various other nationalities. This data appears to corroborate official information that most of the consumers and peddlers are Gambians.
Much of the time, the traffickers will be outcome these foreigners, but the consumers and the peddlers are Gambians, which is more alarming.
At least 87% of clinical cases at the hospitals, pain was the most common symptom, followed by swollen tongue and drooling saliva. Beyond the physical trauma are the potential mental disorders affecting Kush victims. Bakari Kamara, matron at the Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Hospital, explains the psychological and health implications of the consumption of Kush.
These psychosubstances, if you take them, it goes directly to the brain, and the brain analyzes them properly. And then it is filtered down or is communicated back to the whole body. Now, what it does, it suppresses the neurotransmitters now we are talking about in the brain. So when those things are being altered now, problem will come in. Then deficiencies will come in. When it happens, you break down, to psychologically break down. Then this is where some of them, when they start taking these medications, you still see them, if you ask them questions, they become sluggish in speaking. You see them, some of them will start drooling. There is one of them that is very, very severe, that is the fentanyl. This is where some of them will succumb to their life. Some of them will die out of, or as a result of the psychosubstances. Okay? So this fentanyl, if you take it, what it does is collapses your veins or whatsoever. Then the next minute, you end up, trembling, you end up having that fever, and those are the times people will always have these side effects. And then, see, like the one we usually have here at Tanka Tanka, you will see one individual will just come trying to uproot, because when they take, they feel like they are powerful enough. So you will just come and hold a pipe or a pole, trying to uproot the pole. So sometimes it's just, you cannot just understand. And then they will see a wall, and they will use their head and then bang it on the head. So bang it on the wall, that yes, they can break the wall by their heads or by using their heads or whatsoever.
Tanka Tanka is Gambia's only psychiatric hospital. Being underfunded and with limited resources, the hospital is struggling to deal with psychiatric cases emerging from the spike in drug abuse in the Gambia. Here is Bakari Kamara again.
Tanka Tanka is not the right ideal place for drug addicts, simply because when someone is addicted to drugs, that person does not want to be in the treatment center. All what the person needs to be is at the rehab centers. That's the rehabilitation centers. If you are in the rehab centers, that is where you are expected to be properly rehabbed by certain domains of, the components of the treatment, like CBT, that's cognitive behavioral therapy. So this is where these particular specialties people will just be guiding you through.
From February 2024 to date, the Ministry of Health has registered over 100 Kush-related cases. Just before this broadcast, at least 4 deaths have been recorded, according to official information. For now, the majority of Gambians are hoping to stop Kush developing into the menace it has become in other countries in our sub-region. For Qtv News, I am Seinabu Chow.
Very interesting story there by Seinabu Chow. Now, throughout the rest of the year, we hope to bring more special reports in our news bulletin. Well, that's all we have for you. But before we go, a recap of our main news headlines. President Adama Barrow, some cabinet ministers and senior government officials joined fellow Muslims yesterday, Sunday, at the King Fahad Mosque in Banjul to celebrate Eid al-Adha. On the day of Eid al-Adha, Gambian pilgrims joined millions of fellow Muslims to replicate the day of the symbolic stoning of the devil at the Jamrat in Minna. Yesterday, the 16th of June, was International Day of Family Remittances, set aside to recognize the contributions of migrants to improve the lives and livelihoods of their families back home. Rice is the staple food in the Gambia, and it is cultivated in various parts of the country. Interviews with some small-scale rice farmers in Janjanbureh highlighted the challenges they face to keep rice farming alive. The Gambia has become another of the African countries where a synthetic drug, widely known as Kush, is taking a serious toll on its youth population. In an extended report, we looked at what is being done to halt the spread in the Gambia. That's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching.